First time I killed someone wasn't too bad. The shock of it was scary at first. I can't say that it wasn't. He was running at me. He had a switchblade. I saw him, then shot him. Just like that, he was gone. I took the life of someone. A whole world. Gone. They wrote it off as self-defense, and then nothing happened. Everyone moved on. But the rush of it, the adrenaline, the way it just took over everything. It was like a high. It made me feel like the only focus, the only thing that really mattered, was the here and now. A perfect escape. I really like that feeling. Welcome one and all to Bucket Time, release of the painful fan game developed by Team Pale Mail and is styled in similar one-hit kill action games like Hotline Miami and Katana Zero, all while starring everyone's favourite bucket-wearing gunslinger. If you know me, finding out a game like this exists was a dream come true. Finally, a fan game based around the man, the myth, the bucket himself. Legit, the first time I played this it made me tear up with glee. It was absolutely beautiful. But enough about my initial reaction, let's get to reviewing. Since this fan game is still in development, the story is quite bare bones at the moment. Besides the opening monologue that details Bucket's backstory, which is like the stranger if Mersault wore a bucket on his head, there's not really much to go over. Buckets must go guns blazing through a gang hideout to get information on a random army trade deal, and that's it. There's nothing really that special. However, the gameplay is. To start us off, Bucket's kit is fairly standard. You have a jump, double jump, a dodge, wall jumps, your two pistols, and an adrenaline mode which slows down time. As mentioned earlier, Buckets has only one hit to his name. A single hit, and it's back to the start of the stage. Luckily, death and respawn is quite quick, so you won't be spending your time holding your head in stress. Speaking of dying, Bucket Time has 4 types of enemies. 5 if you count the boss, and 6 if you count something a bit later on. First on the shooting range are the rushers. These guys are your standard melee fighters. Their job is to tank hits and quickly close the distance to give you a little bonk. Luckily, due to the dodge and adrenaline, you can easily take them down with 3 shots. Next are the spearmen, who have a door shield and, what else, a spear. When these guys attack, they leave themselves open for a shot and will go down in 1 hit. If you shoot them before they attack, they will block your bullet, and if you get too close, they will give you a non-lethal bonk which will stun you for a couple seconds. Next are the barrel bros, which are unkillable. And come on, if you're watching this video, you've played Painful. You don't need me to explain a barrel bro to you. And finally, the floaters. These guys stay up high and throw balls at you. However, they can be easily countered with dodging and slowing time. And they only go down in 2 hits, so nothing's that bad. And, saving the best for last, the first and only boss in this demo. The Magician is a different type of encounter altogether, more reminiscent to the boss fights in the Toho fan game Hero of Ice Fairy. Funnily enough, not only are both games' protagonists my favourite characters in their respective series, but both are, in fact, only 3 sources tall. But, back to the boss. The Magician technically has 3 HP, but you need to shoot him 5 times to technically mark the hit. Luckily, since there's no iframes between shots, you can whittle him down quite quickly if you keep up the pressure. He has 3 attacks, 4 fire, a projectile barrage, and the left and right master spark, all of which are pretty easy to deal with once you get the timings down. and after landing the final blow, you get a little cutscene, and you finally have beaten the demo for bucket time. Or have you? Completing the game unlocks 2 additional modes for you to mess around with. First is a timer, which isn't a whole lot, but the fact that you can beat the game in around 7 minutes does make me excited to see the eventual speedrunning community for it. Second is pain mode, which is, well, a pain. Enemies have faster movement and attacks, rushers take 4 hits instead of 3, floaters toss firebombs instead of balls, and spearmen attack faster, I guess? The real pain comes from the magician, who now has a shield that surrounds him, and instantly kills you if you come in contact with him. It takes a lot of patience, since you can't just spam shots or close the distance, but it's still quite fun. It took me around 9.5 minutes to beat him, which is not too bad. For beating pain mode, you unlock rusher mode, where you play as one of the rusher enemies. You are invincible for this entire mode, as your punches has constant iframes and they propel you forward with each swing. Sky's the limit when you don't give a shit after all. Beating the game in rusher mode, or beating the game in under 2 minutes, unlocks the beta levels for the next chapter, which I am really excited for, even if the addition of a sniper enemy is going to be a real pain in the ass. I will also mention that no, you don't unlock anything for beating rusher mode and pain mode, and that the 1.0.1 devlog does mention a secret room. I haven't seen it, but I hope whoever has is at least properly rewarded. All in all, this game is amazing, truly the greatest Lisa fan game to ever exist, and fits perfectly in the true timeline. You know, this one. If you're still on the fence, please go and play it for yourself. It's free after all, and doesn't require you to own Painful or Joyful. And besides, giving the developers feedback is always good. I humbly wish Team Pale Mail a sound journey on their fan game creation, and to one day see their efforts pay off with the finished product. And I personally hope that my sweet little bucket man gets the game he not only needs, but greatly deserves.